Riverside Sport Hall of Fame induction celebration. Please take your seats. Please silence all cell phones, thank you. And please welcome to the stage today's Master of Ceremonies, Stan Morrison.
Yay. Good evening, and welcome to the 2018 Riverside Sport Hall of Fame induction celebration. My name is Stan Morrison. I'm proud to represent this fine organization as a member of the Board of Directors, and I'm pleased to be your Master of Ceremonies for this important celebration honoring the long tradition of excellence in Riverside sports. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 2018 inductees to the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Tyler CLARY. Tyler is accompanied by Ambassador Jim Guthrie. Gary Lucas, accompanied by Ambassador Dennis Rogers. MEIKA Wagner, accompanied by Ambassador Peg Bradley. KARL Marshall, escorted by Ambassador Starkey Sowers. Charlene Leathers for Charles Leathers, accompanied by Joanna Hayes and Nicole Hoxie Roberts. JERI Moss SHANTEAU, escorted by her ambassador Gwen Ritzau. And Jim Clover, escorted by ambassadors and his daughters, Sydney and Ryan Clover. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for our inductees, please. Since the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame was founded in 2003, 87 sports legends have been inducted into the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. 544 athletes and 42 teams and their coaches in 30 different sports have been recognized and memorialized on the Wall of Distinction for their exceptional contributions to Riverside. Additionally, we have honored 14 individuals with the Chuck Kane Leadership Award and 13 with the President's Award. At this time, please join me in welcoming back those who are with us tonight and have been inducted into the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. And here, from the class of 2003, Joe and Randy Horde for Roy Horde. From the class of 2004, great baseball coach Jack Smitherin. From the class of 2004, Tom Hall and Chris Krug. From the class of 2006, Gary Adams, Walker Evans. From the class of 2009, Mike Barty, Barry Meyer, Dell Roberts. From the class of 2010, Dennis Rogers. From the class of 2011, Richard Ramirez. From the class of 2012, Sam D. Knight, Sr. and Billy York. From the class of 2016, Joanna Hayes. From the class of 2017, the Kistler family and Diane Wall for Jerome F. Wall, Dr. Wall. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for all of those wonderful past inductees, please. We'd also like to welcome and acknowledge those past recipients of the Chuck Kane Leadership Award with us this evening. From 2005, Dr. Susan Rainey. From 2006, Dell Roberts. From 2007, Diane Wall. From 2008, Jim and Becky Clover. From 2016, Bob Porter. Yes. From 2017, the mayor, Dr. Ronald O. Loveridge. Please, let's hear the applause for all of these Chuck Kane Leadership Award winners. And those who have been honored with the President's Award in years past. 2009, Suzanne Ashley. 2010, Getty George III. 2013, John Corona. 2017, Sam Knight Sr. One more time, folks, for the President's Award winners, past years who are here with us. Let's hear it for those folks. Joining me on stage this evening to welcome you all is possibly Riverside's most passionate supporter of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, our wonderful mayor, Rusty Beatty. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our mayor.
So good to see you, baby.
What's going on, brother? You ready?
Yeah,
You ready for this? Another year?
Here we go.
Okay, no more clapping during my comments, okay? Give your hands a rest, take a drink of water or whatever you have in front of you. And welcome back to some of you, my friends around this room. You know, I was just thinking, listening to all these names and people that have been a part of this Sport Hall of Fame, there's a lot. There's an incredible amount of talent in this room. Just look around at the people that have served this city in one capacity or another, whether it's been in business or in education or teaching, coaching. Look at this talent. I want to start a city Olympics. What do you think? You guys in it with me? I would put this talent against any city, especially in California. We'd get after it, wouldn't we? All right. So I'm just going to make it quick here tonight. A few recognitions and, of course, a challenge from your mayor. You know, it doesn't happen It just doesn't happen, things like this. And so the Sport Hall of Fame would not be in existence today without some incredible leaders, some more talent that we need to recognize tonight. No more clapping. I want hoots and hollers, all right? If you believe in the leadership of JERI Hurley and Debbie Guthrie. Incredible leaders continuing the rich legacy of this Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. And all of you out there, again, the talent that's out there, your work not only provides recognition for Riverside's exceptional athletes that we have here tonight, but also elevates Riverside's brand. And I can go out far and wide and speak about that brand. And I do have people that come up to me and talk to me about some of the incredible sports talent that we have here. And I'm proud of that. And I hope you are too. And I hope that you, when you go out there, speak of the talent in Riverside and say you're from Riverside. It kills me when I see somebody or I know somebody, one of my friends out there, oh yeah, I'm in the Los Angeles area. Anybody hear that before? Their friends say I'm from the Los Angeles area when they're asked where they're from. Well, you better be proud Riversiders out there far and wide and carry that Riverside brand with you. I want to recognize some of the sponsors that made this evening happen as well tonight. And again, just give hoots and hollers, especially if you're from one of these organizations, or maybe if you enjoy going to one of these organizations, or you remember one of these organizations. Beginning with our presenting media sponsor, the Press Enterprise. Anybody get a subscription to Press Enterprise? Give a hoot and holler for the Press Enterprise. What about Hub International? Any members of Hub International Insurance? Come on, go word, Taylor. Well, hey, here's something everybody should be hooting and hollering for. The City of Riverside, anybody? City of Riverside? Any residents? It's in Wealth Management. All right. Walker Evans Enterprises. Where are they at? Clark's Nutrition. Provident Bank. Yeah. Riverside Medical Clinic. Yes. And the Riverside Police Foundation. All right. And we're not going to identify each and every sponsor by name tonight, but I want to thank those organizations and all of you that contributed to tonight's success. And I want you to please understand again that the Sports Hall of Fame is a member-driven organization. Raise your hand and hoot and holler if you're a member. Come on. See that, folks? We don't have enough members of this member-driven organization. Where are the membership forms? They should be around here somewhere. If we don't have members, we don't have the organization. All right, folks, enough said on that. But I'm a member. I would expect you to lead by example and continue this organization through the membership that you can provide, which tonight obviously recognizes incredible talent, but also helps us educate our next generation of talent in Riverside. And I'm so excited to be a part of the Hall of Fame in that regard, because every year we have a coaches clinic and we have all the athletes, the student athletes, high school athletes that come back, and college athletes that we recognize here. And that is just an incredible statement of Riverside to its future. And we have to appreciate that. But obviously, not everybody can get an award to be recognized tonight. If you ask any athlete about their success, even in individual competitions, without fail, they will recognize their teammates and coaches along the way. And I'm sure we're going to hear that in the speeches tonight. Just think, where would Michael Jordan be without Scottie Pippen? Kobe without Shaq? Although, depends on who you ask. Joe Montana without who? Jerry Rice, Serena with her sister, Venus Williams, Wayne Gretzky without Mark Messier, and our very own Cheryl Miller without Reggie, right? The list goes on. Every one of them would tell you that they would not have been successful without their teammates, encouraging them, challenging them, and pushing them towards success. So as your mayor tonight, I can tell you the same thing. Riverside is only as good as the people in it. And again, I'm proud of the people in this room and where we've come with this organization. So thank you again for helping us make the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame a great institution for all of us. We are one MEIKA team. made up of individuals and an organization working together to see if that continue to be the gem of the Inland Empire. That's what we hope we can be, a shining star amongst inland Southern California. So my challenge to you tonight is to continue to deepen your commitment to our team here in Riverside. If you're not already involved with an organization in the room here, whether it's an association of one of the universities or getting involved in your local high school, or just coming and hanging out with me one day, keeping me encouraged, I would appreciate that. Find your passion, and as my coach used to tell me, get stuck in it. Stick in. Tough as nails, Rusty, tough as nails. Have you heard that before? Let's be tough as nails, Riverside. So thank you for joining us, for your support, for your encouragement. May God bless you all, our athletes. May God continue to bless this great city of Riverside.
Thank you.
Beautiful. You good? What's next, Coach?
Go have a seat. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to take a quick right turn here. I just want to say to you, I saw the city float in the Rose Parade, and it was so classy, and our citizens said, we want to be in that parade, and it was beautiful. It was magnificent, and I don't know how many countries saw the Rose Parade. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a gold medal city. We have young men and women come from our community and compete on the biggest stage in the world in the Olympic Games. This is a gold medal city, and they deserve the support and recognition just like a float in a parade. And this is our parade, our annual parade. It's $100 to be a member of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. I want to encourage you all, send me a check, I'll get you this form, send it to me. And I'll get it turned in, and we'll get your information. So send it to me tomorrow, and a year from now, you will still be a member for that year and maximize your gift in support of this organization and all that it means in the world of sports. Thank you. This organization was founded not only to honor these athletes, coaches, athletic administrators, and community leaders who have brought fame and honor through sports to the city of Riverside. The Riverside Sport Hall of Fame also takes great pride in acknowledging the hard work and dedication of those aspiring athletes and sports leaders, those who very well may be the future Hall of Famers. This speaks to my comments. It is my pleasure to invite Becky Porter and Derek Johnson, co-chairs of the Parade of Champions and Scholarship Committees, to join me on stage to introduce the Parade of Champions.
First, from our colleges and universities, from the University of California, Riverside, Alex Larson and Jakisha Lay. From California Baptist University, Nolan Kistler and Tori Mitchell. From Riverside City College, Andre Wilson, Joanna Adams. From La Sierra University, Reynaldo Solorzano and Berlin Benavides.
Okay, from Arlington High School, we have Eduardo Rodriguez. Also, outstanding female athlete, Kieran Ritter. From California School for the Deaf, Elijah Waters and Haley Burton. From the Carnegie Schools of Riverside, we have Frances Burney. And also Ekaterina Golovkina. Next, from Hillcrest High School, we have Jared Billen. Also, outstanding female athlete, Madali Hernandez. Next, from Harupa Valley High School, we have Antonio Arashiga. And female athlete, Julianne Reifer. From John W. North High School, we have Mason Westlake and Megan Tagaloa. From La Sierra Academy, we have Ezra Sarmiento. And also Azriel Hackett. From La Sierra High School, we have Jacob Cardenas. And also Nicole Kawakami. From Martin Luther King Junior High School, we have Matthew Sylvester. And also female athlete, Madison Stamen. From Norte Vista High School, we have Noe Vicente. And also Alondra Hadahu. Next, from Notre Dame High School, we have Garrett Pittman. And also female athlete, Trinity Weiscarver. From Patriot High School, we have John Ober III. And also Alexis Bauer. Athletes from Poly High School include Levi Murtaugh. And female athlete Abigail Burke. Oh, down low. Also from Ramona High School, we have Jared Escoto. And female athlete from Ramona, Nanyori Davis Arnold. Athletes from Rubidoux High School, Nathan Huerta. And also Victoria Rodriguez. From Sherman Indian High School, we have Robert Olney. And also Topa Schur. And finally, from Woodcrest Christian High School, we have Jacob Van Haster. And outstanding female athlete, Taylor Olson. Who's doing the outstanding teams? Okay, it looks like we also have some outstanding teams to introduce. Representatives from Hillcrest Boys Basketball, Coach Jackson Wood. Let's give him a round of applause. Also from CIF Championship, Notre Dame Boys Basketball, Coach DeAndre Bosley. And also a round of applause for Riverside Youth Judo Club, RPD Detective Brian Money. Let's give them all a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, Becky and Derek. Appreciate it so much. And now, I ask that you please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance to be delivered by the 2012 Riverside Sport Hall of Fame inductee, Billy York. Billy? How are you?
Great to see you.
Thank you.
See you,
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, your scriptures teach that all good gifts come from above. Lord, we're so honored to live in a city of Riverside that has set aside this night for that very purpose, to recognize the gifts that you have given to these athletes over the years. For every athlete, there's a loved one, a parent, grandparent, a family member, a coach, a mentor who has helped them along the way. And I pray for your blessings upon them too, Lord. I ask for your protections upon this facility this night. We pray, Lord, as these athletes, these high school athletes, college athletes, and others move along in their lives, that not only would they become great athletes, but also they would develop great character, be great people, and give back to their community and others. And Lord, we thank you for this night and for this time together. In Jesus' name, amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Billy.
Please be seated. You were going to do it anyway, so you're very coachable. We have many special guests who have honored us with their presence this evening. Please rise as your name is noted and remain standing, and I'm going to ask the audience to please hold your applause, which will allow you to eat. So if we could have the lights up, please. Riverside's Mayor, William R. Rusty Bailey. Thank you for holding it up. Council Member Mike Gardner, Riverside Community College District President of the Board of Trustees, Tracy Vacar, Trustees Janet Green and Chancellor Wolde Ab Isak, Riverside Unified School District School District Board Vice President Dr. Angelov Farouk, Riverside Unified School Board members Tom Hunt and Brent Lee, and Superintendent, my pal, Dr. David Hanson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for these great leaders in our community. And thank you for being here to acknowledge the young men and young women who do such a great job of representing your institutions in their competitions. We'd also like to call to your attention to your program and the list of the members of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame Executive Leadership Team and those volunteers who have so generously shared their time and expertise with the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame over the past year. With those who have volunteered for the organization this past year, stand. Please stand. You know who you are. Let's hear it for that volunteer group, please. Yes, this event simply does not happen without them. And thanks to each and every one of you in the audience for joining us on this special evening. Now, please enjoy your dinner and fellowship, and we'll be back soon. Thank you. Yeah.
be what you and I think of the typical way of getting something done, but he gets it done his own way. You know, the end product is still going to be a finished product with his spin on it. So of course the challenge is just like with hitting a baseball. He has some limited mobility in his neck, so we had to adapt his stance for being able to see the ball better. All of the things that maybe for people come a little more naturally or easily, he had to overcome so much more just to get on an equal playing field. So those challenges were daily in every simple task.
Not allowing him or them to stop and give up, just to continue on as far as if they're whatever they're trying to accomplish, sports, school, whatever, daily activities, just to continue and push on and treat him as a regular household member, not anything special, because I think that was some of his best therapy, where his sisters treated him like any other sibling and roughhoused him and things of that sort, that something maybe we wouldn't do or we would be a little bit more cautious on, and they just went to town and had fun with him.
Just the overall experience, it really opened him up socially, right? Acceptance from, he had teammates that accepted him.
Little Ruby, man, he sure got to where he needed to go, and just left an impression that he's willing to hustle and do whatever you're willing to ask. So that was the first time I got to meet Ruben, was at the tryouts where he was out there trying to show us what he had. That moment was more moment for him, I think, than us. I think for him saying, wow, you know, there are people who believe that I can do this and accept me for you know, exactly who I am. So I think it was more of a moment for him. I mean, we were able to experience that, of course, and witness that, but I don't know that that was between him and I think that was more of letting him go with the team and trusting that that program could handle that and take care of him, and they did, and I think that moment was more for him. I think it's a great moment, but I don't know if there's one particular moment. It's just that 4-year experience of high school baseball that just, you know, turned him into a man, like most of us that went through high school programs or athletic programs. I mean, that's really what it did, you know, for a lot of us.
Well, I know at this current time he would like to be a writer, sports, and also hip-hop music. He's an avid writer and loves music of all sorts, but especially hip-hop. And so I think that's something that he would like to do, is become a journalist.
And so I think that, you know, we bought him a computer, you know, laptop, so he can start putting together. He's done some writing recently for UCR baseball that they're going to have up on their website. He covered their golf tournament, got to interview some guys and put together a piece for that. So we're just trying to get his feet wet, get him out there. I told him, you know, start writing stuff. He has mountains of journals since he's been writing since the time he could write. I mean, he'll write on any sporting event he could watch. When most kids were little and they were watching Barney or, you know, Mickey Mouse, he was watching baseball and football, you know, for hours on end.
We're very proud of you for everything that you've accomplished and all the struggles, all the surgeries you've had to go through and that you have overcome. I think one of my moments I had is when the coaches are telling us that they would wish they had all the kids similar to you, because you're one of the hardest working kids out there, and always never giving up. It's funny because you wear hearing aids, and some of your teammates probably will never know that you wear hearing aids because you never wear them out in the field. How you can hear what's going on or what the coaches are telling you to do, it's pretty amazing, and I think that you're an amazing person.
Ruben is an inspiration to his teammates, to his classmates, and because of his grit and determination, he continues to touch the lives of all that he comes into contact with. Ruben is proof that hard work and dedication are the keys to success.
Well, I don't like talking in front of people, but I just want to say thank you to the Riverside Sports Hall of Fame for honoring me. And
You're fine, buddy. You're fine. You're fine. Go ahead, hang in there, right there.
Thanks, Ruby.
All right,
Mom, I love you, Mom and Dad.
Deanna and Ruben, number 2. You got a superstar son, and that only happens because he has superstar parents and coaches. Yeah. Congratulations, Ruben. You're a stud. Courage and commitment are words, and you define them so beautifully. Thank you so much for allowing us to honor you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Ruben Ayala III. The Special Recognition Award is given by the Executive Board direction to award a Riverside Sport Hall of Fame medal to a deserving former athlete. In 1986, Riverside Poly quarterback Bruce Campbell was named the most valuable player in the first Riverside County All-Star Football Classic, held at Riverside City College. Bruce used the $1,000 scholarship he received for being MVP to attend Princeton University, where he was a 4-year letterman in football. He then went on to earn a law degree from Harvard University. Okay. I can't even spell Harvard, but that's all right. After which, he practiced corporate and securities law before embarking on a legal career in the entertainment industry at NBC Universal and for Discovery Communications. Bruce is now Chief Development Officer and General Counsel for Discovery Communications, where his responsibilities include corporate development, production management, and overseeing the Discovery Education Division, entities valued at several $1 billion. Bruce speaks fondly of his time playing football in Riverside and the impact that it had on his life. He is being recognized for his educational and sports journey, which now serves as a powerful, positive role model for Riverside youth. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Bruce Campbell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, man.
You were brilliant this afternoon with those kids.
Yes. Here you go. This is fast.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say something? Oh, there you go.
Well, they already let me speak for quite a while at the high school and college student ceremony, which was quite an honor for me, and it's great to reconnect with the youth of this great city that meant so much to me. So I just want to thank you for this honor, and most importantly, give my congratulations to what is an absolutely outstanding class of inductees to the Hall of Fame that we'll be hearing from later. Thank you very much.
I wish you all could have heard his presentation to the high school and community college and 4 years school student athletes. What a remarkable athlete. He should run for office. So many believe in our mission and recognize how important it is for us to inspire our youth. Again this year, because of the contributions of our members, along with the generous support from sponsors Hub International Limited, City of Riverside, Walker Evans Enterprises, Itsen Wealth Management, Provident Bank, Riverside Medical Clinic, Riverside Police Foundation, Henry and Linda Coyle, and through the combined contributions of our inductee circle and many of you, it is possible for us to provide $1,000 scholarships to each of the recipients. I would like to ask Gerald Hurley, my good friend, and President Derek Johnson, Scholarship Chair, and Mayor Bailey to join in the presentation of this year's scholarships. Please, ladies and gentlemen, applause. If we could have the lights up, please. As I call each of the scholarship recipients, please come forward and join us on the stage. Madison Stamen. Water polo, Martin Luther King High School. Madison was named first team All-CIF all 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. All 4 years, All-CIF at Martin Luther King. She led the Wolves to a CIF Division III championship in 2016. Madison competed on the Southern SoCal Water Polo 18 under Junior Olympic team. While competing, Madison maintained, a 4.33 GPA and served as a TikToker, member of the National Charity League. Madison will be continuing her water polo career, you bet it, Stanford University. Madison Stamen.
Yeah. Congratulations. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Okay. Do you want them all to stay? Okay.
Next up, Matthew Sylvester, football, Martin Luther King High School. Matthew was named first team All-Big 8 League as a safety in 2017. On his team, Matthew was a leader who earned the recognition of his teammates and coaches, being voted team captain and head of the Players' Council. Matthew is very involved in the community, participating in many events to help fundraise for cancer research and volunteering for homeless assistance. While at King, Matthew maintained a 4.22 GPA and is deciding between UC Davis and Stanford to pursue a career as a mechanical engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Sylvester. Matthew, you're spending too much time in your math class. Megan Tagaloa, tennis, North High School. Megan. Megan is the 2018 Inland Valley League Women's Individual Champion. She was also named the Inland Valley League MVP in both 2016 and 2018, and she went abroad in 2017. That's why she didn't win it that year. She is, I'm lying, I'm taking her off the hook. Megan is an annual volunteer for her local community's blood drive and canned food drive. That's right. During her tenure at North, Megan has maintained a 3.66 GPA and will be continuing her tennis career at Western Illinois University, where she will major in business. Ladies and gentlemen, Megan Tagaloa.
Hi. Congratulations. Okay.
John Ober III, track and field, football, basketball, Patriot High School. Come on up, John. John was named to the River Valley League first team in both track and football. On his way to becoming the Riverside City champion, John set the current Patriot High School discus record. He will be pursuing this dream of being a Division I athlete here at the University of California, Riverside. Go Highlanders, with the Highlander track and field team, and will be pursuing his degree in business and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, John Ober III.
Congratulations, John.
Way to go, John.
Nice going, babe. That's good.
Trinity Wisecarver, volleyball, Notre Dame High School. Trinity was named to the All-CIF first team in both her junior and senior campaigns. She has been a standout volleyball player, competing all over the country. She became a junior national qualifier bronze medalist. Wow. Trinity is an active church volunteer and was the president of the Notre Dame High School Make-A-Wish Foundation Club. Go Make-A-Wish. Trinity will be moving on to study psychology at La Sierra University. We're keeping her here at home in Riverside. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinity Wisecarver. I'll get them all back. Thank you. Okay, I just got instructions. All of you who are getting your awards, kind of hang around here. They want to get a picture of you up here when we're done. Thank you. Well, please join me in a round of applause to congratulate this year's Riverside Sport Hall of Fame scholarship recipients. To our incredibly generous sponsors and the members of the inductee circle, thank you, thank you, thank you for making these scholarships possible. What a great looking group of scholarship awardees.
It's talent right there. Uh-oh. Yeah. Good teamwork, Mom.
Buy bulbs.
Okay. Thank you all. Congratulations again. All the best to you. Thank you. How far do you throw? All right. Good for you. Good for you. Okay.
For our next presentation, please welcome the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame president, someone who dearly loves his duties and gives more effort to all of you and to our community. On behalf of the Riverside Hall of Fame, please, my buddy, Gerald Hurley.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. The President's Award honors those in the Riverside community who have provided distinguished service for a number of years in the field of athletics. I can't tell you how pleased I am this year. Well, I can tell you, I'm very pleased. The Riverside Sport Hall of Fame is honoring two lifelong friends for 72 years who have left an indelible mark in athletics and beyond because of their commitment to the Riverside community and Riverside youth. I am honored to be on the same stage with Rich Stalder and Gary Taylor. And there's so much to say about each of them, so I'll start as they're coming up. First one is Rich Stalder. While attending Palm School and Poly High School, he excelled. He was actively involved in playing and coaching in Little League, Pony League, and the Connie Mack Leagues. It was Rich's arrival at North High School in 1968 that would start a nearly 3.5 decades of service in various coaching and administrative positions. Rich was an assistant football coach. He was a head baseball coach. 329 wins, 213 losses, and 2 ties. Outstanding. Rich was a JV basketball coach for Coach Barty. Rich was also an athletic director from 1976 to 77 and 1990 to 2001 for the Huskies. While he was an athletic director, North won 10 CIF championships and 2 state titles in 5 different sports. I think Rich's true legacy lies in his devotion to building his programs on unshakable principles of punctuality and accountability, and always having high standards for his athletes and students to help them become successful. Rich Stalder. Yeah. Gary Taylor is a product of Riverside Schools. He played Pony and Colt League baseball. He was an all-conference CBL football center while at Poly High School. This is so interesting. In college, in high school and in college as a center, and he would go on to play in the Potato Bowl and the Mercy Bowl while he was at Fresno State. 8 of the teams that Gary participated on, they were undefeated. 5 of those teams were undefeated. And he was the anchor for that offense. Gary had a wonderful coaching career in his 20s at several different universities, in high school and at Antelope Valley College, and he was a 4-year offensive coordinator at Eastern New Mexico University. By age 30, he was a head coach at Wheaton College, a Division III liberal arts education college. He was the head football and baseball coach. He would go on to be the general manager of the Wheaton Sports Center, which is one of the largest multi-activity sports centers in the country. Gary is a giver. He's always wanted to give back. He's been a board member for the Young Life Organization, the chairman of the Ray of Hope, and he's helped to raise significant funds for spinal cord injuries, and for many, many years has endowed an RCC scholarship. These gentlemen are not receiving the President's Award because they're my friends. They are my friends. I feel privileged. They embody the old school ethics and the old school way of doing business, a handshake. Their word is their bond. They hold young people accountable. They've done everything we've ever asked of them in this organization. And you name any aspect of what we do, they've been there and they've done it willingly. I am so honored that they've agreed to be President's Award recipients. And I think we have their poly picture of 57. We have honored more athletes and coaches and individuals from the poly class of 57 than almost any group, and they are all wonderful. We appreciate it. The 2 greats in Riverside, Rich Stalder and Gary Taylor.
You got it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you take my notes? Okay. I got to do
you still going?
Debbie? Yeah, I'll stay. Each coach told me if I got that wrong, I'm running laps after practice. Oh, man. We're moving on to the Chuck Kane Leadership Award. It's given to those who, through their continuing leadership in the Riverside community, have inspired us all to athletic achievement. I'm preaching to the converted here. Debbie Huffman Guthrie is wonderful. Anyone who's ever worked with her knows that. And so we're honored to award her the Chuck Kane Leadership Award. Debbie Guthrie. Yeah. We could go over by about an hour if I read everything from Debbie, but just let me say this. The lessons she learned as a synchronized swimmer with the Riverside Aquettes and her 27-year leadership and ownership of a roofing company really taught her lessons on how to lead. She's accepted prominent roles in the community, including stints with the Provident Bank, the Riverside Community College District Foundation. She has a special love for Athena of Riverside, the Greater Riverside Chambers of Commerce. She is the leading proponent and the force behind the Riverside Aquatic Center. She helped raise the funds to get that moving forward. She's been involved with every educational group and organization in Riverside, including RUSD, AUSD, California Baptist University, La Sierra University, certainly RCC. Debbie was the 2011 Greater Riverside Chambers of Commerce Citizen of the Year. She's also been awarded the 2013 Spirit of Riverside Award. Spend 5 minutes with her and you'll be more intelligent. If you have a good seat tonight and you have a good meal and you like the organization of the program, thank Debbie Guthrie. Because of what she did with the Riverside Convention and Visitors Bureau, she actively worked with the NCAA, the CIF, and AYSO to bring culminating events to our city. She has been named in many, many years, beginning in the early 2010s, as one of the top 10 most influential sports personalities in inland Southern California by the Riverside Press Enterprise. I think that picture with Chuck Haynes says it all. Debbie Guthrie. Absolutely.
I'm just going to seize this moment to just tell you all how important this organization is. And I just want to thank all the people who have worked on this organization for the last 15 years. And it's all volunteer. We have no executive director, no paid staff. It's all volunteers. And everybody has given so generously of their time and their energy to keep the organization alive. We need to preserve Riverside's rich sports history, and this is how we do it. So I would appreciate all of your help and support as we move forward in this next 15 years. And I want to thank all of you, all of the volunteers, and especially my husband, who has really bared with me and all the hours that we've put into this organization. He understands that it's important, and he understands that so well that he allows us to operate the Sport Hall of Fame out of his office without charging me any rent. Do you hear that, dear? So anyway, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate the award and appreciate all of you being here tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Debbie, and thank you, Mayor, for your help. And finally, thank you, JERI. Ladies and gentlemen, now's the time to introduce the 2018 class of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame inductees. Let's hear it for them in advance. All right, here we go. Our first honoree in the post-1970 category, fresh in from Charlotte, North Carolina to be here with us for these festivities, is Olympic gold medalist Tyler CLARY. Please direct your attention to the video presentation, and we'll learn, so we can all learn more about Tyler.
Tyler CLARY has been a swimmer since age 8 when he was enrolled in a water safety class. At age 17, Tyler competed in the 2006 Youth World Games, winning 4 medals and named the top male performer at the meet.
To begin with, he started out at Pauley as a pretty small young, ninth grade student, didn't seem like a athletic looking person or anything like that. He comes out to the pool deck, and I'd heard that he was a good swimmer, but I didn't really know much about him or anything like that. And it wasn't until really his junior year that I realized just how great a swimmer he really was, because it was in that year that he went on, and not only did he win CIF and break some records at Poly, several records at Poly, but he also won the Masters meet, because back in that time we didn't have the state meet yet, but we have the Masters meet, which put all the best swimmers from divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together, and he got first place in those. He was the LA Times Swimmer of the Year. He, Riverside Press Enterprise Swimmer of the Year. All these great accolades. And then in his senior year, he had to, kind of come to me and just say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm going to really have to focus on my national swimming. And so in his senior year, he opted not to swim for Riverside and Poly, and he went on, and in that year, he was like the FINA World Swimmer of the Meet in Brazil when he went to Rio de Janeiro and competed for the national team there in the U.S. Junior Nationals. That was when I really saw him getting out into the national spotlight. And then he goes in his sophomore year and does exceptionally well. Then his junior year, he wins it all, wins it with everybody. Then he goes to the FINA World Meet and becomes the FINA World Swimmer of the Year. And you're like, wow, this kid really has potential to make himself known out there in the swimming community. I mean, I didn't have expectations for him to go on and become an Olympic medalist.
I knew that Todd was going to make it to the Olympics way before he got to the University of Michigan. During the recruiting process, Bob Bowman, who became my head coach at Michigan after I retired, we both knew that this is the boy we needed to bring to Michigan. He chose to come to University of Michigan because Michigan produced a lot of Olympians and he wanted to be in Olympic culture, Olympic environment, and Michigan was the place for him, where he started his career there, winning numerous NCAA championships. We knew that he's a candidate for the World Championships. Fast forward 4 years later, Tyler had trained and worked very hard and had given up his senior year at the University of Michigan to come home to Fullerton and train there to give himself the best shot to make the team. He was the American record holder in the 400 IM, which was his specialty, the first event at trials. And he had called us on the way to Omaha for the trials to make the team, and he was sick, and you could hear the emotion in his voice and the fear for everything he had given up to train to make the team. He did not end up making the team in that event, was actually third, and he had taken a couple days off, decided to swim the 200 butterfly, which is an event that he was not supposed to make the team in, or was not favored to make the team in. He had progressed through the prelims, the semifinals, and found himself in the final. The moment when I found when he was very successful at the Olympic trials, qualified in 2 or 3 events to make it to the Olympics, and finally focused in on the backstroke, and that's where we felt like he's going to have the greatest success, and he proved us all right.
He wants some results, he wants some success, and he wants to try and get a mark on the board.
The turn comes up, watch underwater here. Lochte by 12/100 from CLARY. CLARY, Irie, Lochte can't win, I don't think. They hit it. Is it CLARY? It is over Irie and Lochte.
What a moment for Tyler CLARY. Winning the 200 backstroke, personal best time, 1:53.41. You are Olympic champion, son. Well done. This man's got the gold medal. Here's the result. Tyler CLARY, an Olympic record of 1:53.41. We thought an American would win. It's a surprise result, though.
In total, he won 16 medals in major international competitions, 3 gold, 8 silver, and 5 bronze, spanning the Summer Olympics, the FINA World Championships, the Pan-Pacific Championships, and the Pan American Games.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler CLARY.
Second time's the charm.
I want to be standing with a gold medal guy in this book, please.
You know what? I'm taking it away. He's putting it down. May or may not.
There you go.
So this is what it looks like when a room full of 500 people all stares at you at once. And I have to say before we get started that being that I went to University of Michigan, I have to say it's really hard for me to be wearing this color jacket right now. As great of an honor as it is, especially with Jim Clover right over here, I have to say go blue. So this is obviously a very special occasion and something that's kind of blowing my mind, I'm not going to lie. Obviously everybody, you know, has to thank a long list of people. I'll try to keep that short. First and foremost, thank you to City of Riverside for putting on this event and having me here. Same thing to the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, and especially my ambassadors, Debbie and Jim Guthrie, thank you very much. And I'll continue with a blanket statement to all of my friends, family, coaches, and especially my mom and dad. And there's no way that I could thank all of them adequately, so I'm actually going to ask for your help right now. Please give a round of applause to my friends, family, and especially my mom and dad. So the swimming story for me has been quite interesting. I've gotten to do a lot of amazing things, but it all kind of started on a funny note. As the story goes, you know, I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and my family and I used to go to the river a lot, and my family has no background in swimming whatsoever. And my parents decided that if anything crazy were to happen and the boat were to capsize, say, my mom would grab my sister, my dad would grab my brother, and I had to learn how to swim. To this day, my therapist says it's because I'm the family favorite, but so far I'm unconvinced. But like I said, it's given me the opportunity to do a lot of amazing things, but one of the coolest things that I get to do now is coach younger athletes. I travel all over the country, and I'm starting to travel the world working with groups of athletes. And a lot of times the curriculum changes, the things that I talk about change a little bit, but there's a message that I try to share with every single group. And you know, that's something I really want to share tonight. I met this guy named Kevin Perry my freshman year in high school. It was actually after a period where I was very heavily considering retirement from swimming at the ripe old age of 15. And my parents had convinced me to make a change and start, you know, making the trek over an hour out to Fullerton every day to go and train with this guy named Kevin. And to be honest, the first year that we knew each other, Kevin and I really didn't get along. And it was so much based on what my mental state was. After about a year, we started to get along, and all of a sudden my career started to change. And in fact, the kind of funny words from Coach Caldwell earlier about how all of a sudden I started making these international teams, things started clicking because of the way that I was operating with Kevin. And there's actually there's this moment after I won the Olympic gold medal, and in fact they showed it on the video where I was kind of pointing up like this. Because this lesson that Kevin was trying to teach me for so long all of a sudden made sense. Every time I get in front of a group of athletes, I challenge them to change their minds or change the way they think. Before every one of my clinics, there's something kind of interesting that happens. There's like a little sign-in area, and there will be kind of a backdrop kind of thing. And after they sign in, the athletes have an opportunity to come and, you know, shake my hand, take a picture. But I always try to make sure that they have the opportunity to put my Olympic gold medal around their neck, because it does a couple of things. First and foremost, it makes it real for them. And secondly, it allows me to sort of take the mental temperature of the group that I'm working with. And you'd be surprised, but about 70 to 80% of the time, I'll get a comment from a coach or usually a parent or an athlete that's something along the lines of, take a good look at that medal, you'll never be this close to one again. And I hear it all the time. But ultimately what that says to me is that there's this commonality in people that they have an inability to look at the reasons why they can't achieve something. This was the lesson that Kevin was trying to teach me, and for a long time now, I've tried to figure out how to get that into people's heads. How can I give you something, how can I give you a cue to change that state of your mind? Well, I've come up with a three-word phrase that's kind of cool. And I think that every Olympian that there ever was has had the ability on some level, whether or not they know it, to ask themselves this question: why not me? It's very simple, very powerful. Why not me? There's this guy that I used to swim with, Eric knows him very well, Matt Grievers. Dude's 6'10". I'm more worried that the dude's going to eat me before I get to the swimming pool versus, you know, beat me to the wall, right? But that was, for me, you know, that was sort of the wrong way of thinking. It didn't quite make sense. If I'm going to focus on the fact that that dude's literally 10 inches taller than me, I'm already at a disadvantage at the race. How can I put myself into more of a why not me mindset? Well, let's think about it from the flip side. I'm 6 foot on a good day after hanging upside down on a backboard. But I've found a way to get myself in the same heat as Matt Griever's already. That means that even with 10 inches less height, I can already swim with that guy, which means that I more than likely can go just that much faster to beat this dude. But it's very hard for people to put themselves in that mindset. So what I say in every one of these clinics is, no matter what we do in the pool, no matter what I talk about with your stroke, your push-offs, whatever, take that phrase with you. Ask yourself, why not me? Because I come from the same area. I grew up doing all the same things that a lot of the kids in this room are growing up doing actively right now. And the last thing that I want to leave everybody with is this statement that I wrote earlier. I wonder what the world would be like if we all asked ourselves this question every single day and made it a habit to ask it of those around us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. You've made this community so very proud, and we're honored to have this opportunity to welcome you back to your hometown and add you to the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, our gold medalist, Tyler CLARY. You bet. Our next honoree is Gary Lucas. Please turn your attention to the large screens as we introduce this year's deserving inductee, Gary Lucas.
Gary Lucas was born in Riverside on November 8, 1954. He attended Poly High School, where he lettered in baseball and basketball. He attended Riverside City College and Chapman College and signed his first pro contract after being drafted by the San Diego Padres in the 19th round of the 1976 NLB draft.
I left Rubidoux High School to come to Poly to be a head baseball coach, and happened to have Gary be in the senior class that year, and I believe it was fall of '72. And Gary was one of the pitchers on the varsity, and I was impressed just by his manners, his courtesy, and just a total gentleman. I found out that Gary was a very hard worker, wanted to learn. He had played for Coach Hammersmith the year before. And the thing that I noticed about Gary is that he took baseball and his schooling very serious, and was committed to baseball when he was out on the baseball field. Coach Hammersmith was a pitching coach when I was a head coach, and Coach Hammersmith would have a rule that if you walked 2 guys in 1 inning, you were coming out no matter what the score was. And Gary had a problem with that sometimes. Although he didn't walk too many guys, he just visibly sometimes didn't agree with that. Like I said, Gary's one of those kids that you never forget just because of his professionalism and his manners, and he was brought up very well. Well, you know, when he left Poly and went, I believe, over to RCC and then went to Chapman and then signed a pro contract, it didn't surprise me to see him make the big leagues. Just because Gary was going to do what was necessary to make it to the big leagues.
Well, I had the opportunity of playing for Richard Ramirez, who Gary Lucas played for at Riverside Poly. So it was really an introduction through Richard. And I think one of the things that made us come together is we both had lost our fathers at a young age and everything. And I was 2 years older than Gary. So we started talking and communicating and spending time together. And what I found out about Gary is he was much more talented than what he was giving himself for. First of all, he's a very humble person, cared about his teammates. You could rely on him as a person, took care of his mother, had some skills in other areas that I envied and wanted to be around, but we really just kind of connected through a baseball circumstance where we both enjoyed the game. So when Gary entered RCC, he became a first-round draft pick in the winter draft, what people would consider kind of amazing because he didn't have any success. But the potential was there, and he also grew into his body quite extensively during that year. And then 3 years at Chapman College. When he went to Chapman, I think they found out what a great teammate he was. And then when he went to professional baseball, what a diligent, hard worker he was and selfless individual that he became. He relished his role as a left-handed middle relief pitcher and did an extensively outstanding job. I had just come to Riverside City College as the head baseball coach, and Gary and me said, why don't you come up and assist with the players periodically as time permits, because he still had growing children. He would come up and assist me with the pitchers. I did that over a 1.5 year period, and then I think he decided at that point that he wanted to get back in the game in a teaching mode. He wanted to teach and inspire and direct players in that regard. That launched a 19-year career with one-time interruption as a minor league pitching coach. His inspiration, his development with players was life-changing. Not only did he assist them with, their craft, but he was a mentor toward them. He was a friend, somebody they could rely on. Again, it goes back to his selflessness. His contributions have been numerous in the games, but his greatest contributions is him as a man and what he's meant to his family, the game of baseball, Riverside, myself, and obviously his new team is not only his family, but his new grandchildren. And what a unique honor it is for him to be honored by Riverside Hall of Fame because he is very proud. This is his home, though he's lived many places. This is where he lived and grew up on Ramsey Street in Riverside, 2 blocks from Riverside Poly.
Gary remains close to his Riverside friends and has fond memories of Evans Park, Shamel Park, Colt League, and coaches like Dennis Rogers, Rich Ramirez, and Ben Hammerschmidt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Lucas. President Hurley and your ambassador Dennis Rogers will now present you with the traditional red jacket.
Take the plaque.
Indicative of your induction into the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, along with your award. Gary, please join me at the podium, please.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Boy, that's quite a video. That's quite a walk down memory lane. Dennis and Rich, probably 2 of the classiest people that I've ever had the privilege to know. And I can't go much further in a situation like this with this honor bestowed on me without thanking so many people. And there's not enough time, obviously, but first one that comes to mind is my mom. I grew up without a father, no brothers or sisters. She did it all. She was my biggest fan. And from there, as my wife of 40+ years, probably the most unselfish person that I've ever been around. My 3 daughters and our grandkids, my 3 daughters are by far and away my biggest accomplishment. And like I say, I'm leaving so many people out, but to those that I forget and have left out, if they're here, thank you. I was touched by so many people the first 18 years I was in this city before I went away, and I've never forgotten that I took a bit and a piece from all of them. I was blessed as being a good listener and having focus, and it helped me throughout my career, both as an amateur and as a pro. I chose not to have my immediate family with me on this trip. I wanted to do something different that I'd never done before. Not that I've been elected to any Hall of Fame before, but and that was a tough sell. They all wanted to be out here. But I had a second family growing up, and like I said, without a father and without much family, these 7 guys that are sitting at my table tonight were my family. Scott Lanier, Dana Smith, Walt Whitsack, George Wing, and Jeff Torreni, along with Rich Ramirez and Dennis Rogers. inspired me, gave me confidence, gave me direction. They were always there. If I wanted to ride a bike, play ball, go to a concert, you name it. There was balance throughout all those guys, and they were unselfish. And I think in the back of their mind, they knew what maybe I was dealing with, trying to grow up in a household that was different. My mom, in fact, was the age of all of their grandparents. My parents had me when they were in their mid-late 40s. So I felt those guys took the ball and ran with it as far as including me on just about everything growing up that we did. We were inseparable. And I thank every one of you guys at that table. I appreciate it. I know I'm in this Hall of Fame because of my big league career. I'm proud of it. When you talk about the Hall of Fame, I think about the Major League Hall of Fame. People have asked me for years, what's the highlight of your Major League career? I played with 9 Hall of Famers, 9 Major League Hall of Famers. Maybe you can think out there who those might have been with 3 clubs, San Diego, Montreal, and California in the 80s. Shoot, some of the pitches I threw, I'm responsible for getting another 10 to 20 in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, but it's good to be back in Riverside. This is where it all started. Age 7, my dad took me to a Dodger game and I was hooked. I did it all, Little League, Pony League, Colt League, Poly, RCC. Was drafted by the Reds in the first round in '73. I had ups and downs, minor league career, amateur career, whatever you want to call it. I handled the adversity. I got drafted by the Reds in the first round. I don't think I won a game at RCC that next year. It was trying. They used to have what was called a draft and follow that year, and I think eventually I was a draft and forget, with the exception of getting a chance to go to Chapman College, and I turned things around there. I'm starting to get a little better at Chapman. I'm starting to get some innings, starting to pitch on a regular basis. But stopping right there, I had limited talent. My heart, my drive, my determination, my will, my passion, if I can toot my own horn, carried me much further than my talent. As far as grading out a left-handed pitcher like me on a fastball, I never touched, I think, 88, maybe one time. I settled around 86. And when you have that limited velocity, you better be able to wake up Christmas morning and have control whenever it's required. It's just imperative. And I learned control. There's no doubt about it. That maybe is a good place to tell the student athletes in this room, at least a suggestion I might impart on them. Any chance you get moving forward, and congratulations on these awards tonight, but any chance you get moving forward to be a self-starter, try to find a way to jumpstart your own improvement and chances to get better without having to walk into an arena or a ballpark and have them tell you what your schedule is today. You're going to be ahead of the game. Try to figure out a way to inspire yourself to do the little extra things to get better, and you'll be on track. And you may just have a chance to do what I was fortunate enough to do. Big league career, very gratified with the accomplishments that I made. It was up there. I was with the Padres, signed with the Padres in '76, 3.5 years in the minor league, 600 innings of minor league ball. I was ready to make the big leagues in 1980, and I stayed in the big leagues through '87, also with Montreal and California. But I have to credit good coaching to that. I got good coaching as an amateur and as a pro, and like I said, I listened to the guys, and certainly I can't go any further without mentioning Ben Hammerschmidt, Rich Ramirez, and Dennis Rogers had the patience and the focus to try and get me better, and it really instilled a lot of belief that there's people out there, good baseball people, that really cared about not only working with the team but working with individuals, and I was the recipient of that. Coached 21 years then professionally after I got done with my playing career, so I was 34 years in professional baseball. I'm retired now. I'm trading player development for grandchildren development and loving every minute of it. But looking back, there were a lot of highs and lows, but I loved each day. I'm proud of my career, a lot of accomplishments overall. I was able to stay healthy. I never had surgery like so many pitchers have to these days. But the foundation was right here in this town, right at that table. And those people moved me in the right direction. I'm very grateful There was passion, there was the work that I put in. It all paid off. In the end, I made pitches, I got outs, and the game was very good to me, more times than not. I was fortunate, but I was rewarded. And if there's anything involving success with me, I was able to balance family and craft. I'm truly honored to be joining an elite group here, and it's good to be back in Riverside. Anybody know the 9 Hall of Famers? You got Raleigh Fingers, Ozzie Smith, Dave Winfield, Tony Gwynn with San Diego, Gary Carter, Tim Raines, Andre Dawson with Montreal, and Don Sutton and Reggie Jackson with the Angels. Thank you very much.
Great job. Great job. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, they send their very best regards and gratitude for all that you did for the others who got in. And it's wonderful to hear someone pay such tribute to 7 teammates who were his family. What a great thing, coaches and family. That's what it's about right there. Let's welcome our next inductee, MEIKA Wagner. Please, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the screens.
MEIKA Wagner attended and graduated from Notre Dame, where she was known as a big match player for the Titans, and as one of the most efficient outside hitters in Inland Empire history. She was a 3-year starter and 2-time All-American for Coach Lisa Love at USC, leading the team to an average of 22 wins per season. She finished her outstanding college career with 1,269 kills, 863 digs, and 400 blocks. Wagner registered a .324 attacking percentage during her 4 seasons with the Trojans and finished her USC career in the top 8 all-time in 6 offensive volleyball categories. In her senior year, MEIKA was awarded a prestigious Pac-12 Medal Award as an athlete who exhibited the greatest combination of scholarship, athletics, and leadership. After graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, Wagner was on the USA Women's National Team from 1996 to 98. MEIKA went on to play volleyball overseas at a very high level for nearly 17 years, winning numerous league and international titles. MEIKA went on to play volleyball overseas at a very high level for nearly 17 years, winning numerous league and international titles. From 1996 through 2013, she had professional stints in various leagues in Switzerland, Germany, Spain, and Italy. MEIKA speaks 5 languages: English, Italian, Spanish, German, and Portuguese, and often has served as interpreter for her teams and others, as well as youth club clinician and administrator for the FINA World Masters Championship Games.
I met MEIKA, I think the first time we came together was in 2002, competing in Italy. She was living in a town called Modena, and I was playing in a town called Bergamo. And we actually played against each other for many, many years in the Italian League. I think that was our first onset, so I've known her for quite a long time, and we've always been competitors, and then over time we became really good friends. She has probably the most infectious energy. She's very true to who she is and a loyal friend. You know, there's a lot of people you meet in the professional sporting world, and she's probably one of the best humans I've come across. I always got to play against her. She's very athletic, very competitive, always laughing like off the court with her. I wish we would have played on a team together. She was on the national team prior to me going there, so I'd always heard of her, but never really got to know her until our stint professionally in Europe. Champions League finals, we were both playing for Italian clubs, and the finals were in Poland, and we actually played against her team in the semifinals and lost. And then that whole weekend, it's a really neat atmosphere to come together as athletes, happens when you've reached that level of competition. And to go out and obviously being in the Italian League and 2 Italian teams, both of our club teams got together and celebrated. And I still remember, I still have pictures of it, and I still see it, and I laugh that many years ago, like it was still just, our friendship was just starting. But I would say her socially, you're never going to find somebody that's going to make you laugh more off the court, even though she's such an intense competitor on the court. She is definitely one of the best that I've known and I've come across, whether competitor or friend. And there's just nothing better than this position for her and this honor for her. And I'm really grateful to be a part of it. MEIKA, I just want to thank you for being a great friend to me through all the years in Europe and even here at home. You've always been someone that I can turn to on and off the court. We've had plenty of good times doing beach volleyball, even meeting together and just talking about life. And I can't thank you enough for the time and energy and compassion that you've showed to me. And I just want to let you know that I am so excited and happy for you, and congratulations on this great honor for your Hall of Fame.
MEIKA currently divides her time between freelancing in the competitive fashion industry and in giving private volleyball lessons in Southern California.
Ladies and gentlemen, MEIKA Wagner.
That's all right. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
You're right. You gotta take some pictures right fast.
I didn't, I'm going to be honest. She said I was honest. I'm going to be honest. I didn't prepare anything, so I'm just going to, speak from the heart and hope that it goes over well. I want to thank, first and foremost, the City of Riverside, the Sport Hall of Fame, and everybody that dedicated their time and their patience and their effort to make all of this happen. I truly feel humbled to be a part of this company. It's insane. It's very surreal for me right now. I'm sharing the stage with an Olympic gold medalist. That's like, whoa. So I'm kind of, excuse me if I'm starstruck, Tyler. So, first I want to thank the infinite algorithm that allows us to be. Some of you say God, some of you might say Allah, some of you might say Buddha, but to that I'm very thankful, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. I want to thank my mom and my dad, my family, my friends. You guys know who you are, the ones that are here, especially you guys have always just been there for me, just a rock. My sister's here, my brother's not here, but I want to thank you guys. I used to change your diapers, and now you're grown, and I'm happy to be able to reunite with everybody after being overseas for so very long. I'll keep it short. I just want to share 3 things with you. I think that athletics has taught me many of the things that I've carried over and that I carry over daily in life today. And so I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to look like a liar because I look like I'm like 6'10" right now because I'm wearing like 8-inch heels, but I'm actually 5'9 3/4", which is considered short for my role. And with that, I will tell everyone here, whether you're a student athlete or whether you are 50, 60, 90, one of the things that I find so important in life is to embrace the no. Nobody likes rejection, nobody likes to be told no, but that's one of the things that enabled me to have the career that I had. I had a very famous club coach look at me after a tournament and say, well, you're pretty good, but you're too short to ever play at a high level in your role. You should switch roles. You're too short. You're not going to do it. And from that day to this day, I repeat those words to myself because those are the words that fuel my fire. So if anyone tells you no, just in your head, on your face you can smile about it, but in your head just give them the finger and do it anyway. Second thing is to be authentic. It's so important kind of to know where you stand with yourself. My mom always told me there's always going to be somebody bigger, better, faster, more beautiful, stronger, all of that stuff. And the one thing that taught me, carrying that through athletics, is to just know where I stand with me and to be okay with who I am. And in that, I'm not really competing with anybody else. I'm actually just trying to be the best version of me. And so if the best version of me is in a 5'9" and 3/4 inch body, then I've got to find, you know, what can I add to that to just make me the best that I can be at 5'9". And that's what I did, and that's what I suggest that all of you do with whatever you're doing, is just to be the best version of you. That's something that never stops. The third thing is to welcome diversity. My career allowed me to travel all over the world. I lived in 4 different countries, had contact with so many different cultures and so many different people, and I feel so blessed to have all of these people, or a lot of these people, you know, still part of my life, and I learned something from each and every one of them. And I cannot stress how important it is to be open-minded, to learn from someone that's different from you. I think that's kind of what we need today. It's so apparent in our world today that we need to embrace diversity, whether it's race, color, creed, all of it. And you know, I think it'll just make everything run a little bit smoother. So those are the things that I learned off the court, and those are the things that I continue to carry with me, you know, in my normal life. So hopefully, you know, you guys enjoyed that, and deuces. I'm totally embarrassed to speak in front of all these people. So but thank you.
Grazie per tutti, ragazza. Ladies and gentlemen, MEIKA Wagner. Next up, the one and only Karl Marshall. Please, your attention to the screens.
Karl Marshall is a longtime Riverside resident who committed himself to being physically fit for all of his years.
For Park and Recreation, I ran a weightlifting place at Lincoln Park. I had a little room that was about 10 by 10, and we lifted weights in there, right by the pool. And I think that's how I came in connection with Karl. Karl had a house at the end of Howard Avenue in the heart of the ghetto. And he and a fireman were renting his house, and they had it set up with weights. It was a safe place because there was no hanky-panky going on, no drugs, no alcohol, none of that. And Karl was just such a gracious person, dedicated. You know he's dedicated. I mean, I won't talk about all the medals and accolades that he's gotten, but you see him riding his bike at 80 years old, you know, and he's pedaling down the street, and then you go to his home, and there's drawings every place, paintings on the walls, on the ceiling, the bathroom, every place. He's just got lots and lots that people have never seen. He's just such a beautiful artist, just such an all-around great guy. I mean, you know, anytime I've called on him for anything, he's been there.
Yeah, so I think the greatest part about Karl Marshall is knowing him literally for as long as I have. So the first time I ever met him, I was 16 years old. So he came to my dad's gym, and he comes walking in the door, and he's a little bit out of shape, and he says, you know, hey, I want to get back in shape, and I think, you know, thinking about maybe competing in bodybuilding someday. And so we're like kind of thinking, yeah, whatever, you know, and he goes, but, you know, I want to work out early. He said, well, a bunch of us come in early, about 5 o'clock in the morning if you want to meet us, you know. And he goes, yeah, okay, I'll show up. And we're thinking, that old man, there's no way that guy is going to show up. It just ain't going to happen, you know. And so sure enough, the next morning we show up at the gym, and there he is, you know, sitting, he's got a bike, he's got a jacket on, he's sitting in the corner. Literally like 3 months later, this guy goes through the physique transformation of no tomorrow. I mean, he is like the sensation of the gym. He's 48 years old. He's like cut up from head to toe. He's got muscles popping out that we never could imagine where they would be. And he's winning every over 40 contest available in the United States, just like all over the place. And we just thought, okay, how long is it going to last? You know, I mean, it's only going to last this guy for like, you know, 6 years, maybe max, when the guy's 50, because, you know, we're still in our teens. Think, well, when this guy's in his 50s, it's going to be over with. I mean, he's just going to be like pushing daisies up or something, right? So next thing you know, he just continues to go on and on. So throughout his 50s, he wins everything all over the board. Throughout his 60s, throughout his 70s. The last competition we finally competed in, I think he was like about 81 years old, and he won the nationals literally across the nation and beat the 60-year-olds, the 70-year-olds, and everybody else included, just about. So to this day, I think he's won over 500 and some odd shows. Maybe it's a little bit more. He'd undoubtedly correct me on that. But the guy's got more trophies and more gold than anybody could ever imagine from doing bodybuilding shows. So, you know, you take a work ethic from this guy. He was like 12 years old, and he was setting pins in a bowling alley. Of course, you know, you wouldn't think of that nowadays. You think of like a machine or something like that, you know. And so he was setting pins because he had to have work because his stepfather had passed away, and his mother was somewhat sickly. So he was in a position where he was constantly having to, you know, basically provide for the family. At the age of 12, he basically left school and just started going after it. So that work ethic is just literally just continued on for the rest of his life. So if there's anyone deserving of athletic credence, Hall of Fame, it's Karl Marshall. The guy has been not only an icon, but the biggest thing is an inspiration to a lot of us. The other thing that you look at is, you know, he's not only an icon, unfortunately, he never had the popularity of an Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he was Riverside's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Karl is a mentally strong, world-class athlete who has a goal to be 100 years old and still be able to perform to his maximum potential on stage.
President Hurley and your ambassador, Karl, Clark's Nutrition's own Starkey Sours will now present you with the traditional red jacket and the unique award, officially inducting you into the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the walnuts at your table are the result of hang on, they're talking to my ear. The result of Karl's commitment and passion about walnuts every day. He consumes, well, oh, I do. And I'm told if you have 4 of these half walnuts a day, that you're going to live to 100 and what? 16?
I think so.
Oh, good.
16. Oh, we're going to tap.
So you toast each other, tap walnuts, and there you go.
Tables.
All right, they're on your tables. Okay. This is the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Karl Marshall.
Hi. Yeah, I'll just start with at the beginning. I've been competing as a bodybuilder for 74 years. From the first time I won my first contest at 14 up until my last was when I was 84. And the only reason I kind of retired off the stage was not that I couldn't do my posing and all that, but you get up in the 80s and things start growing faster. All of a sudden my skin elasticity got kind of loose a little bit, you know, and everything, and so I'm going to wait until I said, well, I'll wait till I'm 90 before I go back on the stage. But now I'll be 90 in October 28th coming up. But what I'm going to do is I figure I've been competing since I was 14 years old, and I'm going to go about, I've won about 480-some bodybuilding contests, and I went over, when I was stationed in the Air Force, and I was overseas in Spain, and I got into Olympic lifting there, because Franco was dictator, and men couldn't get up there with little things on their short. But one thing I did, I beat everybody in Spain, Germany, France, and Italy in Olympic lifting. so I come back to the States and get into bodybuilding. So like when I had a fall, I was doing high roof work, and a scaffold broke, and I fell 9.5 stories down to concrete, and that's why my back's all messed up and broke all kinds of things. But I just came off of they didn't have the MRI then. This was back in 1970, so they couldn't see all the damage that was in my back and everything, so I couldn't get disability for a few years. But so when Starkey, and then when I came to the gym there and everything, I gained up to 247 pounds, but I hadn't been doing any working out, and I just had decided I could start get in shape. And so I told him, I said, well, you know, if I don't win this year, I'll win next year. Try to win over 40 Mr. America. But anyway, kept going, and I just kept going and getting in contests and everything. And I've got all them contests that I won, I figure I've always helped people like to say, well, we got to exercise a little bit more, got to eat a little bit more, get a better physique so that they can feel better and they'll have a happier life. And at the same time then, I was getting people, well, sort of working with them. But anyway, the whole thing is, I decided, ever since I was a little kid, I had a dream, and I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn that dream into reality. And so the only way I could do that is get back on the stage and do my routine and everything, 100 years old. And that'll really get them going. And in that way, I can go ahead and I figure I've helped so many people start eating more, eating a good diet, and it's winning those contests and everything is quite a feat. But it's better that I help these people to change lives. And as an artist, I've done the same thing. I've always let little guys come in and see my artwork, because a lot of times the best thing that can push them is to see somebody with that's done a whole lot of work. And so the two of those together, I think, is good. And then I just want to keep on going. And I figured now I got to go ahead and get up there and do my posing on stage again, and do my posing routine and little tricks and stuff that I do and muscle control, and at 100 years old. And that's my goal. That's my goal. I want to do it as 100 years old. And see, I still ride my bike, and I want to ride my bike at 100 years old. And so that's it. And I think that's quite a thing in itself. And so I just want to bless everybody, and God bless everybody.
Nice job, Carl. Great job. Great job. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a brief meeting of the Executive Board of the Hall of Fame, and in 10.5 years, or 10 years from this coming October, we're going to have Carl back here, and we're going to present him with another red jacket, the first centenarian jacket in the history of the City of Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Carl Marshall. Folks, please address your attention to the screens again. In the coach category, Charles Leathers. You'll see him on the screen right now. Thank you.
Charles came to North High School in 1992, ushering in an extraordinary run of success at the local, regional, and state levels.
Early in my career at North, I consulted with Athletic Director Stalder and Activities Director Becky Porter about banners in the gymnasium. We wanted to recognize our successful teams and the athletes by awarding a plaque or a banner in the gym. You know, back in those days, money was tight, and we decided that we could only afford banners for teams that either won or were runners-up for CIF championship teams. Well, that was the way for us to save money. Coach Leathers broke the bank. Coach Leathers cost us a ton of money with all of his CIF championships. 3 state track and field championship titles, 18 CIF championships and runners-up. Those banners cost us a fortune. However, to this day, the names of all of our track athletes on all of those teams are proudly displayed in that gymnasium.
Going back to high school, so long ago, coach is really calm at the track meets. So you know, you'll get some coaches who are kind of erratic and running around, we need this, we need that, everybody go, okay, sit down. He didn't really say anything. He just tells you, all right, go sit down. Go sit down and get your stuff together and relax. He'll tell you, okay, he'll come back, time to warm up. He'll stand there, you'll do the hurdles, he'll stand there, watch you, looking at you, not saying a lot, fix this, you know, give you small instructions. And then, yes, we'll get ready to go out and he'll just walk past you and he'll be gone, like disappears. And you don't even really know where he is, but you know he's there. And you go get ready, and then after the race, you'll see him, he'll be back. And I remember him I think it was state meet, he said, okay, now, between the 100 hurdles and 300 hurdles, he's like, all right, lay down, put your feet on this tree. Okay, coach. That's it. And then I'll tell you when it's time to get back up and go. And it was so smooth, so routine. And the great thing about him is that we're already nervous. Like, you're so nervous, you're about to run and you don't know what's going to happen and you want to win. And he was never nervous.
My first impressions, I was terrified. I'd heard a lot of stories about how hard it was going to be on the track team there. So I was very scared and nervous. But when I met him, it was wonderful. He was so nice and welcoming. He never raised his voice. You know, he was just someone that said, this is how I want it done, and he did it. I always think about this workout that he would do, and we gave it a name, but I can't tell you the name of the workout. It's not appropriate to say, but we knew when he pulled out this sheet of paper, and it had a lot of things on there. I'm like, is paper even allowed to be that long? 60, 60, 150. We had so many different things to do, and that was just the beginning of the workout. So then he's like, okay, and then we're going to go over here to the stairs, over in the ceramics building. There's stairs up and down. We had at least 10 of those. And then we had to go over to the bleachers, up and down. It was just a never-ending workout. So you can just imagine what we called that workout. But we knew when that one, he pulls out the paper, this was that workout. So that is just what stands out, or the creativity that he used to get us to what we needed to do to win all the championships that we won.
I didn't know anything about Coach Leathers. I went out, met him on the track. He was in the weight room, and I said, hey, I want to join the team. And he told me to go run a mile. And I went out. I was the only kid out there because everybody else was in the weight room. And I ran a mile. And I remember thinking in my head, just don't walk. Because he was like on the ramp watching. And I was like, I want to make a good impression. So I did the best I could. I don't know if it was good or not. But when I got done, I went to him and I said, okay, I finished the mile you told me to run. And he said, well, congratulations, you made the team. See you tomorrow. And so, of course, I was like super excited. I was like, woohoo, I passed the test. But man, he always made an impact everywhere he went. And I said, when he retired, I said, Coach, I'm not going to be done with this until I've done better than you. And he said, good. So I have some big shoes to fill in my coaching life, but I'm looking forward to it.
In his career, Charles has coached hundreds of athletes to a higher level of achievement. In total, the North Track and Field program has won more CIF and state titles than any other school in the Inland Empire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored and pleased to have Charles' sister, Charlene Leathers, here to represent Coach Leathers this evening. So if she would please come to the stage. Charlene, thank you for accepting this wonderful and special recognition on behalf of Coach Leathers. He'll be missed by everyone in this community. What a special man. You saw it on the video, and we all feel it in our hearts. Please, the microphone is yours.
Thank you.
and my daughter here for my support. My heart still is very, very raw. So I'm going to make it through this. For those of you that didn't know, Charles L. Leathers was a father, a teacher, and his daughter is here as well. And I want to let you know that it wasn't until a decade ago that I learned where his nickname came from. I always knew him as Pete, and the family always called him Pete. And it wasn't until he, I would say, high school, and maybe earlier than that, everyone called him Charlie. And then he became known as Charles Leathers. Now, Pete grew up in Hanford, California. He was an avid hunter, often bringing home pheasants and storing them in Mama's freezer. He hunted wild boars once, but the boars fought back. He was a fisherman in oceans and rivers. He played the saxophone. He was ever so proud of the, I would say, 30-year-old roses that he had growing in his yard in Fontana. My brother set records at Hanford High School, and those records stood, goodness, I believe all the way to when Keisha was in high school, and that's been a number of years ago. After he graduated from Hanford High, he did go to College of Sequoias and then attended San Fernando Valley State College, now known as CSUN. And the man that you all know was born, Charles. Pete touched so many lives, even many of you in this room, as a teacher and a coach. He was dedicated to the growth and success of every child. He challenged his athletes, pushing them to heights they never imagined they themselves could reach on the track, on the field, and even in classrooms. In March, I was so honored to hear the stories from so many former athletes and coaches and teachers that he worked with at Centennial High School and also at JW North High School. A common theme emerged. If Pete said to do it, you did it. If he said win, you won. If he said coach, you'd coach. If he said teach, you'd teach. It seems he had an uncanny way of just saying what he wanted to happen, and his students and colleagues made it happen. If he were here today, he would be honored, while annoyed by all of this attention. But I think he would grab some of you in this room and say, you need to run hurdles. And after you looked at him like he was crazy, you'd try it, you'd like it, and you would succeed in competition and in life. Younger athletes, challenge yourself by doing the unexpected. Stretch yourselves by trying something new, whether in your current sport, in your studies, and in life. Don't be limited by what you know or by what you think you're supposed to do. Use your head for sure, but follow your heart. A poet named Nayira Wahid writes beautiful short poems with so much meaning packed in each word. I will leave you with this. You are a sea of light. Open your eyes, see yourself. Thank you so very much for honoring my brother. Yes, thank you.
That was beautiful, Charlene. Thank you for doing such a magnificent job. of representing Charles Leathers, all those from North High School and the city of Riverside appreciate you more than we can ever express. Thank you again for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my extreme pleasure and honor to introduce our next inductee this evening. You'll be seeing the screen, and you'll be seeing JERI SHANTEAU.
JERI SHANTEAU was a local junior national champion in the 200-meter backstroke, who later became a standout swimmer on the CIF championship team at Poly High School.
She was 6 years old when she walked on to Victoria Club swim team, which is just a family-oriented summer fun swim team. And she's just this larger-than-life girl that's just self-determined and sure of herself and very fun. So she got into swim, and it's just like, whoa, Nellie, look at that girl go. So she was always like 1.5 feet taller than everyone, and grabbing everyone's hand and marching them on down to their lanes and where they needed to go, and just kind of had a real presence about her that was just all about JERI, but she made it fun for everybody to be around her. And she knew she wanted to come to Poly, and she knew she wanted to swim. She just walked right into campus and was just so happy to get there and be there. But she had that goal from the earliest age that she wanted swimming to be an Olympic level sport for her. For JERI, she could have easily just gone in and won 4 events. If I put the 4 strongest people in all events, she would have come out with 4 first place in CIF. But that's not what we needed for her to do for as a team to win. And she was like, oh, absolutely, the team comes first, and that doesn't even matter to get 4 first places. It's all about the team. It was an incredible day with incredible swims, and when I was talking to her on the phone just now, we were just sharing the moment of when you dove in to anchor that last 400 free relay. It was just like the most incredible experience. You just went above and beyond expectation, which everyone did on that relay. Their times and their splits, I just kept looking back up at the board and going, oh my gosh, look at that. And it ended up that JERI anchored it, and when she took off last on those blocks and caught up to whoever she needed to catch up to, and then beat soundly by about 1/3 of a lap every other team in the pool, it was just like, that's it. We just won. That was incredible. And it was such a shining moment for all of us to share and celebrate, and so fun. All 7 members had to do a specific job. They all did it, and we were so happy that all the cards worked out to have JERI and the other girls all available for CIF all that year.
JERI continued her athletic career at college powerhouse Auburn University. While there, she was an integral part of collegiate teams that won 3 national championships and had 1 second-place finish. During her sophomore year, JERI was a semifinalist in both the 100 and 200-meter backstrokes at the Olympic trials. In 2005, she earned All-American honors in the 100 and 200 backstroke and was an honorable mention All-American in the 100 fly competition. JERI capped off her collegiate athletic achievements with a memorable senior year in 2006. She had her highest career finish at the SEC Championship, winning silver in both the 100 backstroke and the 200 backstroke. In the NCAA Championship, she swam the 3rd leg on the 200, 400, and 800 free relays. For this and other accomplishments, JERI was awarded the Auburn Swimming and Diving Award, which is given to the student athlete who demonstrates scholarship, leadership, and performance. In 2006, JERI was part of the first Auburn University team to be invited to the White House for a ceremony which honored the national championship team.
Jerry, I'm just so pleased that you represent Riverside in this honor. And I remember when Gigi bought the first little square brick to celebrate coming into the Sports Hall of Fame, starting up in Riverside. And just to know the legacy that she has of Riverside and what it means to them and their family, I'm just in awe that you are who you are and you've made it this far, and I'm so pleased that you represent all of us from Riverside and Poly High School.
In all, Jerry was an 11-time All-American for the Tigers.
Jerry, please join President Hurley and your ambassador, Gwen Ritzau, for the presentation of your award, welcoming you as you now join those who are so proud to call inductees of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame.
Okay, good evening. Thank you very much for honoring me this evening. Thank you to the Riverside Sports Hall of Fame Foundation and to the committee for allowing me this induction. I am very humbled. After watching this video and listening to those interviewed, I am reminded of the brilliant leaders and mentors I have had along the way. Gwen, I would be remiss if I did not start with you, as it is where it all started for me. It speaks volumes about the coach you were when I think back on how you coached me, not only at 6 years old, but then again at 16, and how at both ages you had the ability to make it fun. You believed in me, trusted my decision-making, and empowered me to have a high school and club swimming experience. The belief, trust, and empowerment applied to my swimming career at the time, but today, those qualities serve me outside of the pool and have shaped the woman I am. I have been lucky to call you my coach, and even more so, my friend. My club coach, Dave Salo, changed my life several times. Once when I was 11, again when I was 20, and lastly at the age of 26, when in a very full circle moment, he began coaching my husband, Eric, for the 2012 Olympics. Dave is a man who has always had my utmost admiration and respect. I know that he and Gwen have truly changed the paths of my life. As most of you here tonight know, there are many people behind the person who is training to become an elite athlete and achieve high-level goals. It truly takes an army. My army, little did I know, had a secret weapon: the Riverside Sports Clinic. The Sports Clinic was a place that changed the trajectory of my career. I, like many other athletes, suffered from chronic hip and back pain. Without the care of Jim Clover and the other talented therapists, there is no way I would have been able to train consistently enough to achieve the things I set out to do. I look back on those very early mornings with Jim, and Todd, and realize now what a special environment they cultivated. I have happy memories of a very difficult time in my life because of those special men and that great clinic. At the end of my career, I was one of the best college swimmers in the nation and ranked top 10 in the world. I know that without my army of coaches and therapists, those stats would not exist. Today I stand before you, a married woman with 2 amazing children. I don't swim at all. I don't do double workouts, and I don't compete at the highest level anymore. With that in mind, my swimming gave me purpose, my double workouts showed me I was tough, and competing against the world's best gave me confidence. Without these learned traits, I know I would never be the full-time mother I am today. My job as a mother requires more purpose, toughness, and confidence than I could have ever imagined. How lucky am I that the skills of my sport serve me today, and I am nowhere near a pool. Again, thank you for honoring me this evening. While I do recognize that this is for me, I have never been more aware that it is really for my family. Mom and Dad, without you, my career simply would not exist. Your dedication to making sure that your children had every opportunity to achieve what they wanted to in life is why I have the accolades I have. Your support, balanced with the right amount of push, is something I can only hope to emulate as a parent today. My siblings certainly sacrificed on my behalf. For that, I am grateful. I am lucky to be your sister. My husband, Eric, was my best friend in college and is my best friend today. At Auburn, you were always the most disciplined and hardworking swimmer on the team. Today, you apply that skill set to our family, and we are so lucky to call you ours. Again, thank you so much for this induction, and congratulations to the other very deserving inductees.
What a wonderful thing to be able to thank your family in such a classy way. JERI, Mas, SHANTEAU. Although this is our last presentation, by the way, I want to thank everyone for hanging in there. We're right now finishing up, and I really appreciate you hanging there with us. And this is our last presentation of the evening, and there's no question that this award is so incredibly well deserved. We're thrilled to be honoring this next honoree for his lifelong role in support of athletics in our community, and you just heard an absolutely wonderful demonstration of that fact. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention one final time to the big screens and meet this year's inductee in the contributor category, our friend Jim Clover.
Jim Clover came to Riverside in 1981 after spending 4 years in the Air Force, 4 years at The Ohio State University, and 1 year working teaching and athletic training jobs in Florida.
I always think of him as my biggest brother. He's a guy who you can ask about anything. He knows everybody. He knows how to do anything. He's not scared to try anything. A fantastic guy to be around. And to tell you the truth, when he's around, he's pretty much the life of the party. There's a lot of people that can sit back and watch him entertain the room and not have to do much. Come on! He was always much wanting to help and also encouraging. One of the quirky things that I always liked about Jim, when I first met him, I didn't understand it. He shakes your hand and he takes his two fingers, his index finger and his middle finger, and he literally is taking your pulse while he's shaking your hand. And when I was like 15, I thought that was weird. I was like, what are you doing? I think he does it to not put people off, but kind of take them out of their comfort zone a little bit, and in a friendly way. You know, there aren't any memorable moments. There are too many memorable moments. That's the point that you get with Jim.
Ever since I was a kid, my dad has always been a very goofy, fun, that guy who immediately lights up the room. Every single time anyone meets my dad, they're just like, who's that guy? He's so silly. He'd always want to take us with him, whether it was, you know, in the locker room going in and taping ankles or, you know, going on the field. I just remember I would just be so excited to be with him, and he'd always, you know, rush us on and off the field to make sure, you know, we weren't getting hit by balls, but we were just, you know, having so much fun with him. But just, you know, remembering just him really just embracing being there and just having fun with the kids and just being excited for the game and having that passion. It was a really fun experience to, you know, see your dad be so excited just for the people and, you know, being involved. The outstanding qualities that my dad possesses is he's just always so curious. And, you know, I really admire that, you know, at the ripe young age of, you know, his early 60s, he's always just constantly wanting to know more, learn more. He's always talking to me about this podcast or this program, or, oh my gosh, did you see this on Sunday morning? He's just always excited to learn more and just get better. You know, one of the things that I just really admire about him is just his love for the community. You know, ever since the sports clinic and, you know, as a kid, he's just been so in love with Riverside and, you know, the people in it and making it better and just being a part of everyone's journey along the way. And I know he's so honored for this award. I know it means so much to him, and I'm just personally, I could not be more proud of him. He's such a wonderful person, and, you know, works so hard every single day, and just, yeah, he's awesome. Like, I love him. He's my dad.
I loved standing next to my dad at the football games, and I loved watching him go out when not that it's good that people get hurt, but I thought it was so cool that he got to go out onto the field, and it's like he had his whole audience. So watching my dad as a kid and as an adult, he loves what he does, and he loves to help the kids, and it's really neat to see him. If a kid comes in with a problem, his first question is, where does it hurt? And if they say I don't know, he's like, okay, point. So then they point, and then he hits it. It's like, oh, it hurts there? Oh, good. But it's just neat to see somebody be so passionate about what they do and really want to get these kids well and back out onto the field, and just always keeping it positive. I don't think it's ever been just about the injury or just, he creates an entire, it's like with Jim Clover or Dad Clover, it's a whole package, and he cares, and he puts everything he has into it. He's just the most amazing person I've ever met, and I'm so proud of him. And he just keeps accomplishing things. And the Hall of Fame has been a really big part of our lives, and I know it's something that he's really proud of, and it's neat to see him being recognized. And I mean, if anyone deserves it, I think he does, and I'm so proud of him, and I love my dad more than anything, and he's the Clover. Oh yeah, oh on the outside, high in the middle, oh high, wait, it's O-H-I, yeah, spelling's hard. Good thing I'm a teacher, I can't spell.
For his ongoing commitment to the Riverside community, Jim Clover has been honored by induction into the Cal Baptist University Hall of Fame by the National Association of Athletic Trainers, and in 2017 was named one of the 4 Fathers of the Year by the American Diabetes Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this very ballroom 2 summers ago, Jim Clover gave a presentation, the finest presentation anyone had ever heard on concussion protocol, to 500 boys and girls coaches in the Riverside area who are taking care of the youth in this community, and he raised the level of consciousness on that particular problem like no one we'd ever seen. Here he is on our stage as a contributor, and another time he's inducted into the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, Jim Clover.
Hey, everybody, let's go. Let's get her done. We're here to go. I gotta tell you, if I didn't have those walnuts, I would not feel like I do right now. Tyler, with the power invested in me tonight, I make you an honorary Buckeye for at least next football season. You can win a game. So anyhow, teach so others can learn. I got here in 1981 in a Greyhound bus. Can you believe that? The first 2 people I met was Dr. Wall and Art Webb. At that point, we started this thing called the Sport Clinic, and we were with a community medical group for 34 years. And then after that, we went with Judy Carpenter at Riverside Medical Clinic, and we've been there for the last 3, thanks to my my boss Taylor and myself. When I first got here, there was no game coverage. The first game I went to, I worked a game at Arlington Ramona, and I go out to the field, and I go out there, and the person on the sideline, they looked at the person, they had a blood pressure cuff, and I thought, oh shit. You know, what are you going to do with that? And I still don't know. So anyhow, at that point, I knew I could win, and I have. When I started, there was Al Boyd. God love Al Boyd. Al Boyd was one of the greatest people in the world. Give Al a big heart. I love Al. There was Al Boyd, Vic DeLue at UCR, and then I got Rick Smith from the Angels and Ned Berger from the Angels. They worked there and covered games. We covered everything from CSDR to Paris. So I went to CSDR and they understood what I was saying because they were deaf. I went to Paris, got my wife perfume. It was a great deal. So it was amazing overall. We had the chance to run the Riverside, the Inland Empire All-Star football game. The first game that we played, Danny Ariano was a coach, Mike Churchill was a coach, Dave Perkins was a coach, Wayne Cochran was a coach. Our winning quarterback was Bruce Campbell. Hey, buddy! And since that, he spoke at 2 of my banquets. And in between, I had Archie Griffin and Rex Kern, Buckeyes. So he was okay. Since that, there were 37 years, 500 coaches, 3,000 athletes. We've given over $180,000 in scholarships. I got to tell you, without all the sponsors we had from like the Solomons and Glenn Moss, you were in the first program, and you have been there every year, and I really appreciate it. Can I have some more money? No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I had the great opportunity to work Rain Cross basketball, and they played it right here. And if you're quiet, you can listen to the ghost of Rain Cross bounce the ball. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Anyhow, there's some great coaches there. Mike Barty, Mike Vanna, Stan Smith, John Dahl. It was a great experience. With the money I made there, I went and bought snow, and I blew it in my front yard, and we skied. It was pretty weird. The other thing was that I had the volunteers then. I got Andy and Mandy Morgan. Mandy ran the ticket booth, and Andy was the sergeant at arms. So my whole neighborhood was involved with these things, so it was incredible. Then I went and started Practical Application Sports Medicine. That was Jimmy, Todd, Pat, all those guys. We've done that for a long time. It's been amazing. Then I started writing, I did ROP Sports Therapy. I wrote a couple books. Can't spell, but I wrote books. And now we have a lot of people that are teaching ROP Sports Therapy. When I first started, there was like nobody. Some of my past students are here now. Ann Babcock, Mr. Ramirez, Jim Elton, Megan Lopez, and 2 of them went on to go to the Ohio State University, the greatest university in all the world. It was great. That was part of the deal. But bottom line, there have been 3 very important people in my life. Incredible. One's an Imagineer. The other one's a school teacher. And the other one is my CEO. Everything that I ever did, I go home and she says, either that's good or that could be the dumbest thing you've ever done. Probably more louder than positive. Anyhow, they are my lovely wife, Becky Clover. And whenever they meet her, I hate it. They say, you live with him? And it's like, yeah, it's not that bad. And then Sydney and Ryan, wherever they went. I don't know where they went. So anyhow, thank you all, and remember to always teach how they learn. Good luck, and thank you all for coming tonight. Yeah, okay, I'm arrived, right?
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get in there.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Great job.
Good job.
Okay. Prozac. That'll help. All right, I was given a thank you for hanging in there. We're really now in the home stretch, and allow me to very quickly, as an aside, would Debbie Huffman Guthrie please come to the stage?
I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank JERI Hurley. JERI, come on up here. You have got to know JERI has been working nonstop for the last year in preparation for this evening, doing all the interviews, doing all the videos, working with RCCD, and thank you so much, JERI. We really sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great job.
Well done. We have held right to the minute. I can't get over this. It's wonderful. And Jim Clover, what a treasure you are for our community. Absolutely you are. We're so proud to have you here and in the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all of our inductees a round of applause. It goes without saying that it truly takes a great deal of combined effort to run this all-volunteer organization. I know I speak for the entire membership of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame when I say thank you to each of those individuals who have given so unselfishly of their time and energy, and particularly Debbie and Jerry. I must tell you, and our mayor, who absolutely stands behind and fully embraces all that this event and this organization means to our city beyond the boundaries of this city. Please note their recognition in the program, and be sure to thank the volunteers who have given so generously of their time to make this evening a success. It's because of their support and yours that we are able to keep this organization alive, so we can continue to memorialize Riverside's sports history, honor excellence in athletics, and provide scholarships and programs for our young people. Let's also remember these friends of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Our sincere thanks to Bailey Communications, Cruz Custom Tailors, voiceovers by Gene Gleason, Pep Fernandez, and Inland Sports, Riverside Community College District Production Printing, RCC Technology Support Services, Riverside Community Hospital, Ring Cross Marketing, and Trophies Unlimited. Additionally, we'd like to thank Mayor Bailey again and the City of Riverside. Applause, please. Okay. That being said, none of this would happen and take place without the support of the sponsors. Thank you again to the presenting media sponsor, Press Enterprise, and our major sponsors, Hub International Limited, the City of Riverside, Walker Evan Enterprises, Itson Wealth Management, Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market, Provident Bank, Riverside Police Foundation, Henry and Linda Coyle, and Riverside Medical Clinic. Let's hear it for those folks, okay? Yeah. Good, thank you. I'd like to, and everyone here, we would like to congratulate the class of 2018, Tyler, Gary, MEIKA, Carrie, Karl, Coach Leathers, Jerry, and Jim. And award recipients, Ruben, Rich, Gary, and Debbie. And to all those honored in our parade of champions and those who received scholarships, absolute congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the evening. Thank you again for joining us today. We are adjourned. Thank you. Bingo.